Thank you.
Hello.
N. Sajan to take the stage and introduce our esteemed chief guest. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prashobit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few words about Peruma Talk series, which is going to be launched today by a special person, a very distinguished person, whom I will be introducing in just 2 or 3 minutes. Pinarayi Peruma, a distinct cultural extravaganza. It was the brainchild of our beloved Chief Minister, Sri Pinarayi Vijayan. Pinarayi Peruma Cultural and Charitable Society was formed to host every year an event aimed at bringing about a confluence of art and cultural performances cutting across all sorts of boundaries and divisions. Since then, it has been functioning as an independent collective for promotion and staging of popular culture. The society is dedicated to the mission of channeling the cultural aspirations and ideas of people in proper directions by ensuring social commitment. As Pinarayi Peruma successfully crosses its 6th year on the cultural annals of North Kerala, it has been able to send its waves across the regional borders and expand its ambit to be known as Kerala Peruma. People from across the length and breadth of the state of Kerala do reach here in scores to enjoy and participate in the festivities that include a vibrant melange of dance, drama, music, literary performances, talk series this year, flower show, river fest and film fest. Through the last 6 years, nationally and globally renowned artists and performers have been adding up to the richness and harmony of diversities, which is the hallmark of this event. This year, the event is charted to take place from 31st March to 13th April 2025. Holding aloft the avowed mission of cultural harmony, we look forward to hosting renowned stars and performers with their repertoire in various mega events like Theatre Fest, Talk Series, Flower Show, Pet Show, River Fest, Food Fest, Traditional Folk Fest, Poetry Reading Session, and various amusement games. In this context, we also let you know that a dance training center for girls is functioning as part of Peruma Cultural Society. This arts center functions in cooperation with Kerala Kala Mandalam, and it has plans to conduct yoga classes for women as well. Now coming to the locale of Pinarayi. The locale of Pinarayi is known for its heritage of agricultural diversity and economy supported by traditional labor-oriented occupations. The hamlet of Pinarayi is known for its natural beauty with its scenic greenery, wetlands and marshes that have immense potential for indigenous economic growth. The people here are amiable and peace-loving and also able-bodied with their years of love for dedicated labor and hard work. Historians trace back the etymological origin of the name Pinarayi to the geographic deviation of land from the sea. It could be a stretch of land that divides itself from the sea and at the same time embraces the seascape. It is a place that has, through the years, produced numerous artisans, folk artists, Theyyam performers, skilled laborers and circus artists. The little land has its unique identity of being known for its cultural richness and unity and in diversity. Pinarayi could take pride in its rich soil and clime that had nurtured performing arts like Theyyam, Purakali, Kolkali, Kalaripayattu and circus as well. Besides these arts, here germinated the communist movement and leftist ideology of Kerala that provided ample inspiration and motivation for nationalist and anti-colonial uprisings. Now just a very brief intro on the chief guest, Ms. Kanimozhi K. Kanimozhi Karunanidhi is an Indian politician, poet and journalist. She is a member of parliament representing Thoothukudi constituency in the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the Parliament of India. She is a former MP who represented Tamil Nadu in the Rajya Sabha. Kanimozhi is the daughter of the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, who is known as Kalaignar, Mr. M. Karunanidhi. Kanimozhi belongs to the Indian political party Dravida Munneta Kazhagam, which is popularly known as DMK, where she functions as the Deputy General Secretary. Her brothers, Mr. M.K. Alagiri and Mr. M.K. Stalin, are the former Minister for Chemicals and Fertilizers of the Republic of India and the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, respectively. She was a student of Presentation Convent Church Park in Chennai, and later she completed a master's degree in economics from Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai. Before her entry into politics, Kanimozhi was involved in journalism, such as sub-editor for the Hindu, editor-in-charge of Kungumam, a Tamil weekly magazine, and a features editor for a Singapore-based Tamil newspaper called Tamil Murisu. Now, on behalf of the Pinarayi Peruma Organizing Committee, on behalf of all the esteemed participants here, on behalf of the Organizing Secretary, may I extend a very warm welcome to Ms. Kanimozhi K to this session of Peruma Talks. Now we have with us today to moderate the session a very renowned person who is the assistant professor of history. She is a historian. She had a PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University and Leiden University. It was a sandwiched kind of program, and she was an Erasmus scholar at Netherlands. And she is a young historian of Kerala. She did a PhD in the history of Kerala medicine. On behalf of Pinarayi Peruma Organizing Committee and the Chief Office Bearers, may I welcome Dr. Malavika Binni to moderate this session. Thank you. And there is a special, as part of the announcement, there is a special prize for the student or the person, the listener from among the audience who raises the best question. And we have a panel of judges to judge the best question. The panel, the jury panel, is comprised of Dr. Vinodan Nawat, Dr. Muhammad Ashifas CH, and Mr. M. Surendra Babu. Thank you. I welcome all of you once again, and last but not the least, I have on behalf of the organizing committee of Peruma Talks, before I hand over the session to Dr. Malavika Binni for the proceedings, is a very humble special request to all the esteemed participants gathered here. Please keep your cell phone switched off or in silent mode until the whole session is over. And we also request you to be in your respective seats until the end of the session, because this will ensure minimum movements and less disturbance inside the auditorium. The session is going to have two segments. Segment 1 is the erudite talk by the chief guest of the day, and segment 2 is the open interactive session where the audience can raise questions and get informed responses from the speaker. Please ensure, on behalf of the organizing committee, please ensure perfect silence and less movements inside the auditorium during both the segments of the session. Thank you very much. Let us all enjoy this session and go home with enriched minds and hearts. Thank you. Over to Dr. Malavika Binni for the proceedings. Thank you very much. And of course, welcome all the 3 jury members who are here. Over to you, Dr. Malavika.
Thank you, Dr. Sarjan, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, wonderful residents of Pinarayi. Welcome to a wonderful guest of the day. I am thrilled today, and not only am I thrilled, this is an absolute fangirl moment for me. So thanks from the bottom of my heart to all the officers, all the office bearers of Pinarayi Peruma, not only for holding the festival for the last 7 years, because it takes tremendous effort and energy for residents of a place to come together and hold such a festival, but also in the 7th year adding an intellectual layer to it, and at it inviting such a wonderful exponent of political science and journalism, and someone who has been spearheading Dravidian politics at the parliament among our midst. So thank you so much, office bearers of Peruma Talks. May I use this occasion once again to welcome ma'am, Ms. Kanimori K to our midst. Now, I know that you're not here to listen to me, but the task at hand that I have been entrusted with today is to maybe talk about the need for us to talk about the significance of guarding democracy. Now, very recently in a talk, Arundhati Roy had mentioned that Kerala is the vanguard of democracy in India, and if Kerala falls, all will be lost. Now, Noam Chomsky, the renowned philosopher, has mentioned something about democracy in the last 4 months. I think it was about 4 months or so ago. He mentioned that if you have a democratic government, and he then proceeds to say that democracy that he is mentioning now is democracy within quotes. So if you have a democratic government at the helm, then you would have that government taking decisions which reflect informed public opinion. And then he goes on to say that if you look at USA today, you do not have a democratic government, rather what you have is a dysfunctional government, because it is not reflective of what the people is thinking. It is not reflective of the democratic ethos of the American Constitution. It is not reflective of the people's wants and desires. ഇത് അമേരിക്കയെക്കുറിച്ചാണ് നോം ചോംസ്കി പറഞ്ഞതെങ്കിലും മറ്റേത് ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിനെ കുറിച്ച് സാമ്യം തോന്നുന്നത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഭരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നതോ ഭരണം കഴിഞ്ഞതോ നമ്മൾ പറയില്ലേ മരിച്ചതോ ജീവിക്കുന്നവരോ ആയിട്ട് ഉള്ളവരോട് സാമ്യം തോന്നുന്ന യാദൃശ്ചികം പോലെ. സോ വാട്ട് എവർ ഹി ഈസ് ടോക്കിംഗ് അബൌട്ട് ദ US ഗവൺമെൻറ് അറ്റ് ദ മോമെൻറ്റ് മൈറ്റ് ഓൾസോ ബി ആപ്ലിക്കബിൾ for the want of another term, let me say elsewhere. So when he talks about democracy, he says that when you have a dysfunctional government at the helm, when you have a fascist government at the helm, when you have a government at the helm which not only does not appreciate diversity but works to make a monolithic nation out of what is a pluralistic nation, that is when you have the most powerful voices of dissent, the most radical voices which have clarity, which are the most rational emerging from among the people. Now, if you look at Antonio Gramsci's writings, you would see that when he theorizes about organic intellectuals, now this is a term which has been used and abused so much so that it has lost its meaning. But if you go back to his original writings, you would see Gramsci, when he theorizes about organic intellectuals, he mentions that organic intellectuals emerge from within the people. They not only lead people with a vision, but they are also spearheading a new kind of ideology, an ideology which is marked or which is dipped in the blood of resistance. Now, what does he mean by the blood of resistance? He is not referring to actual violence which takes place. He is actually referring to the idea that a new kind of being, a new kind of state formation, a new kind of nation itself will emerge, particularly when you have extremely hegemonic forces which are barging down on ideas such as that of plurality, ideas such as that of secularism, ideas such as that of diversity in the country. Now, all the writings that we have, by, let's say, it's whether it is Marx or Gramsci or Noam Chomsky or Sohenstein for that matter, all of this culminates into this one point, that whenever you have the emergence of a dictatorial form of government, you will have resistance happening. The biggest lie that has been peddled to us today is that there is no alternative. Tina is something that we hear all over. But when we have leaders like Kanimozhi ma'am here, who are those voices of resistance, who are those voices of dissent, who are those voices which gives us clarity towards which is the direction that we need to take. These are the voices that we need to listen to. And with that, let me also hand over the mic to Ms. Kanimozhi, who will be talking to us today about Indian democracy and the way it is headed and how we need to act as vanguards of democracy in our personal capacity, and also how a political resistance across multiple sets of diversities, across multiple sets of people who will find commonalities in resisting fascism can emerge in the times of fascism. So over to you, ma'am.
Vanakkam, Namaskaram. It's with great pleasure that I'm here in Pinarayi and for this amazing program called Pinarayi Peruma, which, as was mentioned earlier, is the brainchild of the Chief Minister of Kerala, and also to discuss democracy in his constituency, because he is one of the protectors and guardians of democracy in this country. So I'm really proud to be a part of this cultural program, which has been happening over the years for nearly 7 years, to have a program which focuses on the art, culture, music, sports, and to celebrate that. And this year, I think in the right moment, there has been a decision made to include discussion, dialogue, debate, and questioning. Because I just finished my parliament session and I'm here. The parliament session got over on the 4th. And I'm sure our MP here, Sivadasan, is here. He knows that how debate and discussion has shrunk in the parliament. So to come back to a place which welcomes debate, discussion, and also allows questions is really refreshing for any politician, for any writer. So I'm very happy to be here, and I think including speeches, including discussion and panel discussions this year is a step towards protecting our democracy, and it's a huge step in reviving what we've been losing. So I think I appreciate this amazing initiative, and I thank the Chief Minister, and I thank the organizers of this program for inviting me and making me part of this amazing program which you've been doing. And democracy, yes, not everybody is a fan of democracy. In society, there are people who have different interpretations, different ways of looking at democracy. There are different systems in this world. From the days people started living together, we have been evolving, we have been experimenting with different kinds of systems which will govern people, which will bring some kind of order in society, which will bring some kind of a system which will enable people to live in peace and harmony. So every experiment has changes, has transformations. But I think nearly for over a century, and especially for over 25 years after the Cold War is ended, the world was coming to an agreement and understanding that finally, like in India, it's cricket. That's the only game in town. You can play any game. You can be an amazing football player or a squash player or whatever. Finally, only when you play cricket that everybody recognizes you. So that way, the world had come to agree that we found the answers, and democracy is here to stay. And that democracy is the game in the town. But today, when we look back for nearly over a decade, slowly the world is looking at other things. Before, when democracy was lost in a country, it was a military coup, or it was something which was drastic, that you could immediately identify it, and people could either accept it or people could fight against it. But today, what is happening in this world is sadly that it has become an elected authoritarianism, elected totalitarianism. A totalitarianism is where a single leader, an ideology, or a group of people, and in the case of India, I think it is the group consists only of two people, number 1 and 2. So these people control the society, the politics, the private and public life of people. So that is what we are moving towards, just not in India. Many countries have slowly accepted and elected right-wing politics, right-wing leaders. The guardian of democracy, or whatever we believe to be the guardian of democracy, America, sadly has moved away from its commitment. Sadly has moved away from being the guardian, the protector. Whether it played its role well, honestly and fairly, that's a larger question. But it believed, and it made us believe that there is a commitment which it has. But we see that US has completely moved away from that position which it was holding with pride for many years. And we see so many countries, so many European countries, which we believe to be the cradle of democracy, moving away from it. Over 100 countries today have moved away from its total democratic values. The liberal democracy as we see it, as we celebrate it. It is moving away towards something which we cannot accept, which takes away the rights of the people, which slowly takes away what liberties we've got over the years, what we fought for. So when you talk about India in this scenario, India has dropped from where it was rated as a democracy. Today, India is not a complete democracy. India is not a liberal democracy anymore. After the new union government, the BJP government, was elected into power, we have seen that the pillars of democracy are being shaken. Like I started with talking about the parliament as such. Today, parliament is used not for debate and discussion, not to listen to the opposition voices. Just an example, there is something called a question hour in the parliament. I remember in the days of the UPA, or when you go back and read about parliamentary debates, about parliament proceedings, the question hour was a time when a parliamentarian, the opposition parties, or any member of parliament could hold the government to question the government, to hold them responsible, make them answer a normal citizen's questions, the doubts you have, the concerns you have, to express how they have failed, where they have failed, to hold them responsible and get a reply from them. But today, the question hour is also being used as a propaganda tool. I can talk about anything, my question can be about anything, but the minister will decide what he or she wants to answer. It becomes sometimes a lecture about their political ideology, their achievements. So this is the way today the parliament is being treated. We saw that the work-off bill was passed in spite of protests. The JPC, which was created to listen to opposition points of view, to listen to the people, to listen to the stakeholders, all their opinions was brushed aside. Nothing was taken, and the bill was brought back with cosmetic changes. And again in Parliament, the bill was passed of course, arm twisting their allies. And after that, after 2:30, the government takes up another bill. A discussion about Manipur. The opposition parties have been requesting, giving adjournment motions, time and again protesting for a discussion on Manipur. Because all of us know what is happening there. Our great Prime Minister, who has the time to travel all over the world, has not found time to step into Manipur. They do not care. I had the opportunity to visit Manipur after the first clashes. Thousands and thousands of people who've been displaced, who cannot return to their homes, students, children who've been pulled away from schools, from the education system, and they're living in camps with barely nothing. Just to get a dal and rice is a challenge. To get a bottle of water is a challenge. For the women there, to get a sanitary pad is a challenge. To get milk powder for the kids is a challenge. And more than that, there are mothers, there are families which live in the dark, not knowing whether the rest of their children are alive or dead. A mother, she says, every time I see somebody come entering this gate in the camp, I think it is my son and I run. I don't know whether my son is alive or somebody killed him, whether he'll return. At least if I find the answers, I can live in, accept whatever it is. So this is the way. It is there. The Home Minister announces that there will be free movement after the President's rule. Again the clashes are there after that. People are injured and grievously injured. And yet the government does not want to allow a discussion in Parliament. Nor has our great Prime Minister found time to visit them. So after 2:30, they bring up this for discussion, giving us 10 minutes, 5 minutes each. And only 4 or 5 of the parliamentarians are allowed to speak. So this is the kind of respect, this is the kind of accommodation, this is the kind of recognition today the Indian Parliament has. And we have questions about the Election Commission. Suddenly, this government takes, like the Election Commissioner has to be, there's a panel to select the the Chief Election Commissioner of India. And the CJI is supposed to be in that panel. Overnight, they remove him from that panel. Now it is the one voice of the LOP against the union government, representatives of the union government. And they have a majority, a clean majority, and they are going to select the election commissioner. And we've heard stories about how they are dealing with the election process. What happened in the Maharashtra election? Overnight, in one constituency in Pune, in one building, they have added 5,000 people. In just one building complex, 5,000 people. In Delhi, after the elections, when you read about it, you find out that the ex-chief minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, his constituency, nearly 40,000 people were removed and added. And in Maharashtra, constituency had discrepancies. And from West Bengal, the Chief Minister has been talking about the epic card issues. The photo identity cards in a voter's ID. Today, that has come into question. It is your photo, your name, but somebody else in another state has the same name, same photo, same number with their pictures on it. So how do you trust the election process anymore? So if a elected government or a so-called elected government today decides that it wants to tamper with the electoral process, it can pretend still to be a democracy. It can pretend still to be an elected government, elected by the people of India. But it does not and need not actually be an elected government. So this is what we are facing today. And another pillar of democracy, the media. Whose hands the media today is in? It is in the hands of their own friends, the Adanis and the Ambanis. Every media is in the hands of corporates. So no media, no journalist has the right or the comfort or the freedom to question anything. And today it's not wrongly called the Godi media. So that is the state of affairs of the media today. The most strongest pillar of democracy, the media. And even the independent platforms today do not have the right or the freedom to question. Because from Manipur, a journalist, for posting social media, again questioning is something which they don't like. So for making posts in social media and asking questions which were uncomfortable, he has to face charges again saying that these questions are again a threat to the nation. Today in India, when you question the government, you're not questioning the government. You are anti-national. Because today the BJP, the union government, symbolizes itself with the nation. You cannot ask a question to the government against the BJP, or you cannot question the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, or anybody in the cabinet. It is not a question to the government, but it is a question against the nation. It is a question against India. If you question them, you're anti-national. So this is what they are making out of this country. And always, when an authoritarian government, a totalitarian government wants to continue, it makes enemies out of the minorities, the refugees, or anybody who is different from them. Because that is the ideology of hate which they are able to sell. That is the ideology which they are selling for their gains. And they spin stories. Every day in social media, all of us come across so many stories which are far from the truth. But these stories keep coming again and again and again. These stories don't stop with the present. It goes back, rewrites history. One such example is Savarkar. We all know, we all have read textbooks, we've read books about what happened. How he apologized and came out of prison. But when they write in their textbooks after the NEP, they teach the students saying, he did not apologize, but he flew out of the prison on a bird's feather. And this country believes in scientific temper. Somebody flew out of a prison on a feather. So this is rewriting history, mixing mythology, and that too a newly created mythology. And every place of worship becomes a contested space. Because they have to make minorities your enemies, are the villains of society. The CAA, that was against the refugees, people who come here seeking help, finding a space to live, to protect themselves. Today, it is just not the democracy which we have to protect. It is the secular fabric of this country which has to be protected. We have lived, and especially Kerala, it's a state with different religious beliefs, different ways of worship, different cultural practices. And that is the beauty of India. When Anna, our founder, the DMK's founder, leader, Peraringer Anna, C.N. Annadurai, when he spoke in Parliament, there's a beautiful speech of his which starts, does the government want unity or uniformity? But today, the government does not want unity. It wants only uniformity. Because they are trained in uniforms. I'm sure you understand what the uniform is. Their ideology comes from a uniform. Their ideology was taught to them because they were put into uniforms. And today those uniforms are ruling the country. So they do not want unity, they want uniformity. They don't want your language. They do not want my language. They do not want Marathi, they don't want Punjabi. It is one language which they want, because they know to communicate best in that language. That is why they are imposing Hindi. When we write a letter to a union minister, many times we get a reply in Hindi. I cannot read Hindi. I never learned. How am I supposed to get an answer? I write to them in English. They reply to me in Hindi. So in every sphere, every space, they want to make sure that this country loses its diversity. This country does not have different shades. It's a beautiful cultural place, this country. When you talk about Hinduism, is there one Hinduism in this country? Does the Maharashtra's Hinduism, does it exactly a replica of what worship style and beliefs that Kerala has? Does a Shaivite worship the same way as a Vaishnavite? Do they believe the same things? Or the way of worship and the belief system in Andhra, does it not differ from Odisha? That is the beauty of this country. In Tamil Nadu, there are temples where a Muslim is part of the worship. There are temples where the God goes and stays. There's an Alagar temple in near Madurai, where the Alagar, it's a festival. It's a huge, such a big festival where lakhs and lakhs of people come. The God, the Hindu God, deity goes and stays in a Muslim house, received by the Muslims. This is the integrated society which we had created. Because people have to live together, to celebrate this country together, to be able to live in harmony, in peace, and to respect each other. But today, they do not want people to live together. They want to separate us. They do not want integration. They do not want inclusiveness. They want people to be living in their own cubicles without understanding each other. And they do not want any state to talk about federal rights. The Kerala Chief Minister, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin, have been fighting for the rights of our states. I am very proud to say that Tamil Nadu and Kerala together are the forces which are stopping these fascist forces in India. The first voices against the government, the first voices against when federalism is hurt, comes from Kerala and Tamil Nadu. They do not want development here. They do not want us questioning. Because every bill which is passed in Parliament takes away rights. If it can be a forest bill, a shipping bill, it can be agriculture bill. Every bill, when you read through it, they will interfere in the rights of the states. The national education policy. The union government wants to make a policy and it wants states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala to follow it. I think this is the biggest joke. Because Kerala and Tamil Nadu are far ahead when it comes to education. Our enrollment, our higher education enrollment, we have surpassed the national average years ago. But the union government wants to teach us national education policy. Tamil Nadu has a long history of fighting against Hindi imposition. Kerala, you learn Hindi, but many of my friends in Parliament, they learn Hindi in school, but they are as bad as me, I think. Because actually they don't learn. You've been able to keep because of your love for your language, the way you celebrate your literature, the way you keep it close to your heart, your pride. You have not let Hindi overtake your language. But it is not the case of many other languages in this country. In Rajasthan, there are so many languages which they've lost. Same thing with Uttar Pradesh. So many Hindi-speaking states. They have lost their regional languages. So Tamil Nadu has a long history of fighting against Hindi imposition. And today, the union government says, unless you accept the new education policy, we will not give you SSA funds. This is what they tell Tamil Nadu government. Over 2,000 crores they are holding back, saying that if you do not sign the new education policy, which includes 3-language system and closing downs of schools, of course, if there are not enough students, we do not believe in closing down schools. Even there is a single student in a school, we will run it in Tamil Nadu. But they want to close down those schools because they believe in running corporate companies which are making profits. But we believe in running a government which is for the people. So we don't want to close down these schools. And we do not want to form cluster universities. We want colleges in the remotest corners of the state, so that students from rural areas will be able to go to college. and finish their higher education, get their degrees. So a union government tells the Tamil Nadu government that unless you sign the new education policy, we will not release SSA funds. I'm asking you, is this blatant blackmailing or not? The union government is trying to terrorize. This is total tyranny. To tell a state government, education is still not in the union list. It is in the concurrent list. But in spite of that, they are telling us, we have decided you have to follow. This is how this country is run. No, every voice is made to shut. Today, because MPs from Kerala, MPs from Tamil Nadu are the voices, loudest voices against them in parliament, they want to bring delimitation. This is another way to silence us. Because states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra, Punjab have done very well when it comes to controlling our population. But these are the states which have not elected BJP MPs. These are the states which will go against them. So today, they are planning for the future. They have taken over the parliament, they have taken over all the pillars, but they also want to ensure that the numbers of our members of parliament has to be brought down, so that they don't have to worry about what will happen in south of India. So if delimitation based on population becomes a reality, Kerala will lose around 8 seats. Tamil Nadu will lose around 9 seats. We have 39, including Pondicherry, we have 40 seats. So that will be brought down drastically. So this is the way and method which they have. They want to finish off voices of dissent in every possible way. And when the Home Minister comes to Tamil Nadu, he says, your numbers will not come down on pro rata basis, it will continue as it is. From after that, your Chief Minister and our Chief Minister have been asking an explanation to what pro rata means. Our Chief Minister had invited chief ministers from different states, leaders from different states, and they had a meeting in Chennai. And in one voice, they have expressed their concerns. But has the union government responded to it? Till today, no. The only answer is, we haven't even started the process. Why are you talking about it? I want to know, when the women's reservation bill was brought in parliament, what did you say? You said that the women's reservation bill will be implemented after the census, after delimitation. So who are you lying to? The women of this country? Because this delimitation is never going to happen? Or are you lying to us? So the government has to learn to speak truth. But a government which does not believe in democracy does not speak the truth. A government which believes in an ideology which only keeps it in power, which only believes in hate mongering, does not care to answer questions, because it does not like questions being asked. A government which does not want it's journalists to be questioning us. We see your Siddiq Khapan. Over 800 days he had to spend in jail when he went to Hathras. This is not one single incident. So many journalists, fact checkers have been imprisoned in this country. And we saw how many writers have been hurt, have been killed. Activists, a nearly 80 plus old priest, he was called a terrorist and sent to jail. A person who worked with the tribal people of this country. And when he was in jail, he had Parkinson's. He could not hold a glass. He needed a straw to drink water from. Even that was refused to him for such a long time. Even, I think, the worst dictatorships will not treat any human being that way. So today, if people here, if any of us want democracy to be protected, and not the democracy today we believe is a democracy, but a real, honest, truthful, liberal democracy, where we can express our views. When a government is elected, we know that we have voted for that government and that government has been elected to power. Not because somebody is sitting there and manipulating that government. If we want a government which is answerable to people, if we want a government which will protect its people, if we want a government which thinks about the welfare of its people, if we want a government which will celebrate the diversity of this country, the languages of this country, the people of this country, and to a government which will unify us, will include all of us, then we have to work in one voice, stand against this authoritarianism, because this is not what we are going to leave for our future generations. We need to leave a world of peace, of love, of inclusiveness, and a fair opportunity to the next generation. This government does not care about the environment, does not care about the future generations. It does not care about anything which is important to us. So if we need to protect that, we have to continue questioning whatever the challenges may come. We have done it in the past. Your Chief Minister has fought against emergency. So has my Chief Minister. So has my party. But that was just for 2 years. But this is more than a decade. So we have to stand together and never let them silence us. We are together. Nothing can defeat us. அவர்கள் நம்முடைய குரலை ஒடுக்கி விட்டதாக நினைக்கலாம், நம் பேனாக்களை பிடுங்கி விட்டதாக நினைக்கலாம், நம்முடைய கருத்துக்களை பறித்து கொண்டதாக நினைக்கலாம். ஆனால் மறுபடியும் மறுபடியும் எழுந்து வருவோம் இந்த நாட்டின் விடுதலைக்காக, இந்த நாட்டின் மேன்மைக்காக, நம் பிள்ளைகளின் எதிர்காலத்திற்காக. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Kerala has had a long history of Tamil leaders coming and enlightening us, whether it is Periyar, who himself is called as Vaikam Veerar, or Nagamai, who fought shoulder to shoulder with Keralite women in our anti-caste movement. So thank you so much. We are very, very grateful for carrying on that wonderful legacy and for your very thought-provoking words and your very erudite lecture. Now it's a time for questions. So if the audience has questions, may I now request the volunteers with the hand mics to reach out to the audience so that they can ask questions. If your questions can also be in Malayalam, we'll translate it for Kanimuri.
Malayalam Manaslav.
Oh, she understands Malayalam, so then it's not a problem at all.
May I ask the first question?
Yeah, sure.
Myself, Shui PP. I'm from Browning College. I'm studying History Department PG. I'm one of the member of Pinrai Peruma Organizing Committee. മലയാളത്തിൽ ചോദിച്ചോട്ടെ?
Yes, yes, please.
ഇത് ഈ സെഷൻ തുടങ്ങുന്നതിന് മുമ്പേ കുറേ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ഞാൻ മനസ്സിൽ ഓൾറെഡി സെറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ മാമിൻ്റെ സെഷനിലൂടെ അതിൽ നിന്നും വീണ്ടും വീണ്ടും പുതിയ പുതിയ ഐഡിയാസ് മാം ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിന് വളരെ നന്ദിയുണ്ട്. അതിന് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്ത മാളവിക ബിനി മാമിനെ എസ്പെഷ്യലി ഒരു നന്ദി ഞാൻ പറയുന്നു. അത് നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ യൂണിയൻ ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിനെതിരെ ആരെങ്കിലും സംസാരിച്ചാൽ അവരെ പിറ്റേന്ന് UAPയുടെ പേരിലോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബുൾഡോസിങ്ങിനോ ഇരയാക്കുകയാണ്. ആസ് ലൈക്ക് മുസോളിനി ട്രീറ്റഡ് ആൻ്റോണി ഗ്രാംഷി. ആൻ്റോണി ഗ്രാംഷിയെ അദ്ദേഹം തടവിലാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞ ഓർഗാനിക് ഫിലോസഫേഴ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ ഒരു കറക്റ്റ് വേർഡ് എനിക്ക് ഓർഗാനിക് ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വൽസ്. ഐ റിമെമ്പർ മൈ ഗ്രീസർ, thanks for studying me that particular idea. They are supposing to do a capsule like WhatsApp universities. They are spreading their messages through WhatsApp universities and propaganda movies. They are hating, or they are supposed to be hated against the voices against them. What's the future of Indian democracy? Was democracy still exists in India, or the youngsters or the living people in India want to raise a voice or want to make a movement against this enlightenment power or this authoritarian power? ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് വീണ്ടും ഒരു ഇന്ത്യൻ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യ സമരം നയിക്കേണ്ടി വരുമോ? ഈ ഒരു എന്താ പറയുക, പവറിന് വേണ്ടി മാത്രം, പവർ മോങ്കേഴ്സിനെതിരെ എന്നെ പോലുള്ള ആൾക്കാരെ മാമിനെ ഏതായാലും ഒരു ഐഡിയ എന്തായാലും ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് തരാൻ പറ്റുക? അതായത് ഞങ്ങൾ എത്രത്തിലാണ് ഇവരെ റെസിസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? And thanks for the beautiful lecture, and it gave me many more ideas. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. English or Tamil? Okay, fine. See, democracy is not an idea which we can give up on. So we have to fight. Just not us. You have to join the fight because it is your country, your future. And there is no one way to fight it. There are people, I mean, of course, there's so much false propaganda through, WhatsApp or social medias, reels and, pardon? Yeah, no, not policing only. I'm saying the stories they come up with. The stories they come up with history about Tipu Sultan, about what is happening today. They'll tell you that somebody went and demolished a temple. I remember when DMK guy, after it was elected to power in Tamil Nadu, one false propaganda they were spreading was that we are demolishing temples. But whereas the chief minister, he believes or not, he was actually doing kumbhabhishekams to temples. So this is a false propaganda they will keep spreading. We have to fight it. We have to make sure that the people know the truth. And every space we have to use, whether you can write, you can speak, when you meet your friends, you can have a discussion with them, you can explain to them about, because so much of propaganda is happening today. And we have to support the journalists who have the courage to question. I hope it does not become up to a point where we have to have another war and a struggle of a freedom struggle. But before that, we have to fight and we have to believe. Like I think when she started her speech, she said that there is no other alternative. This is what is going to stay, is what they're making everybody believe, and that there is no hope for us. So it is better to just give in and give up. Don't get that into your mind. We can fight, we can reclaim, and we will win.
Could you please introduce yourself first and then ask the question?
മാം, എൻ്റെ പേര് അഷറിൻ. ഞാൻ കേരള വാട്ടർ അതോറിറ്റിയിൽ ജോലി ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. എൻ്റെ ചോദ്യം, ഫാസിസത്തിനെതിരെ കുറച്ചുകൂടി വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞാൽ RSS BJPക്കെതിരെ ശബ്ദിച്ചതിന് ഗൗരി ലങ്കേഷ് കൊല്ലപ്പെട്ട മണ്ണിലാണല്ലോ നമ്മൾ ജീവിക്കുന്നത്. സാഹിത്യരൂപം, കഥയോ കവിതയോ ലേഖനങ്ങളോ എന്തോ ആയിക്കൊള്ളട്ടെ, അത് കേവലം ആനന്ദത്തിന് വേണ്ടി മാത്രമല്ലല്ലോ, അതിനപ്പുറത്ത് അതിനൊരു പ്രതിരോധത്തിൻ്റെ മുഖമുണ്ടല്ലോ. ഈ പോസ്റ്റ് മോഡേൺ കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ പുരോഗമന ചിന്തകൾ, സമീപനങ്ങൾ ഏറെയും നമ്മുടെ എഴുത്തുകളിലേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവരുന്ന ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിലും ഫാസിസത്തിനെതിരെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫാസിസത്തിൻ്റെ തോക്കിൻ കുഴലുകളെ ഭയപ്പെടുന്ന ഒരു എഴുത്തുകാർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പുതിയ എഴുത്തുകാർ ഉണ്ടോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയുള്ളവർ ഇന്ന് സാഹിത്യ ലോകത്ത് കൂടി വരികയാണോ എന്നുള്ളതിൽ ഒരു കവി എന്ന നിലയിൽ, ആസ് എ പോയറ്റ് എന്ന നിലയിൽ മാമിൻ്റെ അഭിപ്രായം എന്താണെന്നറിഞ്ഞാൽ കൊള്ളായിരുന്നു.
Is there a rising fear among poets or other literatures because of the fascist regime?
Definitely, I mean, there will be a fear among some people. But still, I don't think that we have stopped questioning. We are fighting. And I don't think that will stop. Till we believe that we can fight, we will continue fighting. And I haven't given up. I will not give up. And to talk about Periyar, I like to bring back, Periyar. And he is my inspiration and leader. So when he started questioning society, talking about his ideals and asking questions about in society, he did not have any support. And people threw slippers at him. He was sent to jail so many times. He was in court so many times, and there was so much opposition. Even in Kerala, he was in jail. But I don't think he gave up. Same in the case of many of the leaders who made a change. So I don't think there are journalists still, in spite of all this, who are questioning. They are activists, they are politicians who are questioning. The numbers will become more. I definitely believe that. Just don't stop questioning.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a question from the audience. It's a slightly charged question. This is from Preman Pandiriyar. He asked, Tamil Nadu might be one of the first states to leave the Indian Union, as some would claim, in case there is a second division. Such is the self-identity that is charged with sensitivity of the Dravidian mind, and it can be understood by those who keenly observe the Tamilians. What is your opinion?
Anna, when he gave up Dravida Nadu and supported India against the Chinese invasion, in Parliament when he was speaking, they questioned him. So when the Chinese invasion is not there, will you be talking about Dravida Nadu again? Will you be talking about a separate country again? So he said, the Chinese invasion is just a symbol. So we want to be part of this country. This is my country as much as theirs. So I will not give up. Tamil Nadu will not give up on this country. It is ours. It's Kerala, Tamil Nadu. We all have a right. We are not anywhere less Indian than any of them. We will change this country to what it has to be. A country which understands inclusiveness, which understands the Dravidian pride. And we will make this country into a country which respects the Dravidian pride and what we stand for. we will not give up this country.
Thank you for that wonderful, wonderful answer. Very erudite. Any other question?
Ma'am, 1 second.
മാഡം,
Yeah, sure.
എൻ്റെ പേര് അജിത്ത്, സെൽഫ് എംപ്ലോയറാണ്. എൻ്റെ ചോദ്യം, വടക്കേ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ മറ്റ് മതസ്ഥരുടെ മേലെ അകാരണമായിട്ടുള്ള അക്രമങ്ങളും കൊള്ളകളും ലഹളകളും കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ കേരളത്തിൽ നിന്ന് നമുക്ക് വടക്കേ ഇന്ത്യയിലേക്ക് പോകാൻ തന്നെ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഭയമാണ്. അത്തരം പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളെ പ്രതിരോധിക്കാൻ അതാത് സംസ്ഥാനത്തെ, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് വടക്കൻ സംസ്ഥാനങ്ങളിലെ പ്രതിപക്ഷ പാർട്ടികൾ ശ്രമിക്കുന്നതായിട്ട് പത്രമാധ്യമങ്ങളൊന്നും കാണുന്നില്ല. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്?
Why are the opposition parties in North India not speaking against what is happening with the minority?
No, I don't think that is true, that the opposition parties are not speaking against the atrocities committed against minorities. Today, it has come to a point where nobody wants to even carry those questions. People are questioning it. But only that the voices are, the questions are not be allowed to be heard. And yes, it is creating a fear in the minds of people all over the country. When you see what is happening, the houses being bulldozed, children running out of those homes screaming. It is very shocking and very disturbing. So that is I'm saying that is why we have to protect the secular fabric of this country, where everybody feels safe and protected, in spite of what you believe in. You can be a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jain, or an atheist. This country is yours, and you have a right to believe in whatever you want and still feel safe and protected and belong.
Sir, hello sir, I am Maheshan.
ഇവിടെ ചോദിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്.
My question, we the
Could you
Keralite,
hold the mic a bit closer?
I think we the Keralite noted with gratitude. Man spoke in the parliament for Keralites strongly during the Wayanad tragedy issues, whereas our MP, I think, responded with the sarcasm. So what
During the Wayanad.
mood you?
Not your MPs, one MP.
Yeah, one. So what moved you to stand for us empathetically in this case?
We are all together. I don't feel very different from a person in Kerala, and we've always stood together against the fascist forces, against for our linguistic rights, for our state rights, and we have a very long cultural heritage which is always kept us together. And it's just not only Kerala, for anybody who has been wronged. Even in Tamil Nadu, when we had floods and disaster, the union government did not give us anything. So that is when I see that repeated in another state, and a state just so close to me, and when you see something horrendous happening there and they don't care, I think it is my duty also to talk for you.
Thank you, and thank you for bringing that question up. I think we all of us Keralites owe you an apology for that anomaly of a parliamentarian that we have.
You don't know. I think he owes the Keralites, the Malayalis, and the people of this country an apology.
Thank you. We had one more question from there. Sir, if you could ask the question.
My name is Balan. I would like to ask my question in Malayalam.
Sure.
Okay. CPIM-ന്റെ നാഷണൽ കോൺഫറൻസ് കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം മധുരയിൽ സമാപിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിൻ്റെ ഡ്രാഫ്റ്റ് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ റിപ്പോർട്ടിൽ അവർ ഉപയോഗിച്ച വാക്ക് നിയോ ഫാസിസം എന്ന വാക്കാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ഫാസിസം നടപ്പായി കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന കുറേയേറെ പാർട്ടികളും ആളുകളുമുണ്ട്. എന്നാൽ CPIM ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത് നിയോ ഫാസിസം എന്ന വാക്കാണ്. DMK ഇതിനെ എങ്ങനെയാണ് കാണുന്നത്?
See, of course, I should have started with the congratulations to Kerala because CPIM, again, your General Secretary has been elected, and Mr. M.A. Baby, leader I admire and a very good friend of mine also, who I can't claim to be a friend because of my long association with him, has been made the General Secretary. And see, neo-fascism, because it is a different kind, everything is actually packaged in a different way. When you talk about, losing the soul of democracy, or democracy shattering, what we have experienced in the past, how democracy is removed from a country, is always been a dictatorship which replaces it, or a military coup which replaces it, or something entirely different from a elected government which has in the past replaced it. But today we see an elected government has replaced it. A fascist government has replaced it through the electoral process. So it is a different kind of fascism, which is packaged differently. And we are not able, at least I think Kerala and Tamil Nadu are different, but many people in this country are not able to identify it as a fascist government. So I think that is why this word has been coined neo-fascism. I don't think the DMK has, because our leader has strongly been calling them out for who they are, and he has been identifying their different dimensions and the colors and the masks they wear and come. So we do not have any difference of opinion with the CPIM. We are fighting something together. And in Tamil Nadu, we are fighting together.
Thank you. Okay. Hello, ma'am. I am Romana Bibi. I am a student of Government Brannan College, Talasheri. So, your lecture was very great. It was very calm, very informative and all. So, I would like to highlight is what I got struck in your speech was you told that you can't read Hindi. Is it? I believe that, isn't it a negative? You are such an eminent personality, having so many good background, and you are in telling that you can't read Hindi. And also I heard that you are telling that central government is imposing the Tamil Nadu students to learn Hindi. Ma'am, I believe that learning new language is never imposing. What if as diversified country like India needs so many languages to survive? What if I enroll to IIMs and most of them will be from the north, and it would be very easier for me if I knew the language. What I would like to ask is, what is the Tamil Nadu's future students take? Like, don't they need Hindi language for their future?
Okay, that's a very good question and a very interesting question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can you read Tamil?
No, ma'am, I can't read Tamil.
I am your neighbor.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Just
sir.
one step away from you. Why can't you read Tamil?
I can hear, I can understand Tamil.
I can also understand Malayalam, but I can't read Malayalam.
Tamil, I could
I
try.
can't speak.
Ma'am,
So,
I will.
one minute, let me answer.
Okay, for sure.
I can't read Mandarin. I can't understand Mandarin. I can't read or write or speak Spanish. I don't know Rajasthani. I don't know Manipuri. I don't know Marathi. You're not questioning me on that. But you're asking me why I cannot read Hindi. Why should I read Hindi? Why should I know Hindi?
No, ma'am. Hindi has been used for official purposes.
Yeah,
So
who is saying that only Hindi has to be used as for official purposes? There's no need. There are two languages, English and Hindi. You can use either or.
yeah.
And there are scheduled languages in this country which we be fighting that they also have to become official languages. And today you have a beautiful app in your phone.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are aware of it. I can go to any country, pick up my phone, speak into that app in my language. It will translate.
Ma'am,
So,
don't.
and one more thing is, why should I learn only Hindi? I can learn any language I want.
For sure.
I'm not saying that no student should learn another language. You can learn German, you can learn French, you can learn Marathi, you can learn Tamil, you can learn Telugu. But I think it is a choice of the student to decide what they want to learn. You know very well that if you go to Germany, you know, only thing is that you should learn German. You should know German because those universities teach in German. Your education is sponsored by the government. And in KV, Kendriya Vidyalaya schools, they were teaching German. But this government came and removed that. And they said, you don't have to learn German, learn Sanskrit. What do I do with Sanskrit? I can't even speak to anybody with it. And you won't let me into any temple to do puja by learning it. So, why are you imposing something which I have to decide? What will I do with Hindi? Why can't they teach from UP or Bihar? There are so many people who come to work in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. Honestly, to be very fair to everybody, those schools there have to be teaching them South Indian languages. Because those workers come to Tamil Nadu or they come to Kerala and they're not able to go to a shop and buy anything from there. They cannot go to a doctor and get treated for something. During COVID, their governments did not even care about them. They had to walk miles from here to go back to their states. They didn't know any language which was spoken throughout. How did they get help? Why don't they? The UP Chief Minister has been saying that everybody has to learn Hindi, otherwise they hate Hindi. Why can't he learn Tamil? Because he is sending so many people here to southern India to work. If a student wants to go to any state, the student can learn. Don't impose it on me. Don't say I am less of an Indian. I am not allowed to live in this country because I don't learn one language called Hindi. I can learn any language I want. This is my country. If I want to go and study or work in Calcutta, I will learn Bengali. I don't have to learn Hindi to work in Calcutta. That is what I am saying.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening.
We have only time left for another 2 questions, so we can maybe have a question from
Good evening,
over there,
ma'am.
and this question which has been handed over to me.
Hello.
Good evening, madam. I am Prabhakaran. My question is that I am now 70 years old, and my one doubt is whether there is any possibility of an end to this current fascism in the lifetime of people like me, or will we have to see Hitler's rule in this democratic India?
Definitely not. You will see change. You will see the end of this very soon.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
One last question. There was a lady there in a blue kurta who had stood up to ask a question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
First of all, I thank our Chief Minister for giving this golden opportunity to see personalities like you from Tamil Nadu, MP. And my question is, as our assembly election is fast approaching, I found in the medias now lately, even before, the ED is rolling around on personalities who raise their voice against the union government. What is your opinion about it? And I would like to know that simple people like me would like to, you would enlighten us about this ED in a short words. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, could you please identify yourself, your name?
My name is Vinodini.
In this, I was just reading recently in an article that over 95% of the ED cases in this country are against opposition leaders. And not even 2% gets convicted. So, what we actually say in Parliament, I think, is that anybody who opposes this government is iced. Because they use income tax, ED and CBI. So that is one of the ways they think that they can silence opposition by, fostering cases on them. Anybody, we've seen that a fact-checking platform had to face cases. We saw BBC, we saw so many media houses which oppose the government or question the government facing cases. But I think that is what an autocratic and authoritarian government will do. So these are the institutions in their hands and they will keep using it against us.
Extended?
But I don't think this is going to make us into cowards and give up. It will make us fight more.
Recently, we even had the ED raiding the producers of the movie Emburan.
Yes. Today we have a raid going on in Tamil Nadu against one of our ministers. Not that he's going to give up and stop talking against them.
Do we have any more questions from the audience? I think there's a hand over there. Okay, over there.
Yeah, please.
എൻ്റെ പേര് സൗമ്യ. സ്ത്രീ ശാക്തീകരണത്തിൻ്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ പുതിയ നിയമങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നതിനേക്കാൾ പ്രധാനം സമൂഹത്തിൻ്റെ മനോഭാവം മാറേണ്ടതാണ് എന്ന് മാഡത്തിന് കരുതുന്നുണ്ടോ?
Do we need changes in social attitudes or new laws? എന്തിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ് മാറണമെന്നാണ്? Women empowerment. With regard to women empowerment.
No, we have enough laws. I think the society has to change and the education system has to change and the attitude in a government from top to bottom has to be towards empowering women. And I think today South of India can proudly say that nearly 70% of the workforce of this country, the women workforce from this country, is from South of India. Because we believe in empowering women. But we have come to a point, but we have a long distance to go that cannot be denied. I definitely think the attitude of society has to change. Because for a woman to reach her dreams, her goals, she has so many hurdles to cross. For a man, it is just the path which they have to take. But for a woman, every step becomes a hurdle. So those hurdles have to be taken away by society, by our families. But more than that, even if there is a hurdle, a woman has to have the strength to break that and cross it.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a question, ma'am, something that, just one question. This is from a Manipuri student. Thanks to the efforts of our wonderful MP Shivdasan, we have about 30 students from Manipur who are studying in different colleges under Kannur University. So this is from a student who is from the Department of History. His name is Thongjambong Hoki. His question is, he is someone who had to return back to Manipur because his wife was one of the victims. His wife's brother was traumatized and is admitted to a lunatic asylum. His wife can no longer conceive because of the atrocity that he had to face. So his question is, as a Manipuri, what do you think the future of Northeast is? This apathy by the central government towards the Northeast, will it ever end?
By this government might not end, but we need another government. We need a government which cares for its people, which will concentrate on healing the wounds of the people. Because the wounds are very deep, very raw, and the trust between people has been shattered. And it's very sad that the government has played a part in creating that wound and that rift. So we need a government which will reach out to heal it, to care for the people, and to include those people. We need a government which believes that uniting people is what this country is about, and not a government which believes that its politics is based on dividing people.
Thank you. We'd love to listen to you all night long, but because of the paucity of time, we can only take one more question. So the last question of the day.
Thank you, ma'am. My name is Muhammad Bunnas. You have been taking a lot of questions on polity. So my question is regarding technology and democracy. So with the advent of artificial intelligence, robotics, deep web, and AI chatbot like DeepSeek, etc. So how are these going to, this shift, there's a major shift. How are these going to influence the democratic fabric of our country, our nation? And let me borrow one quote, like Abraham Lincoln. He said, as I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expressed my idea of democracy. Whatever differs from this to the extent of the difference is no democracy. So in this context, I would like to ask, like, how fair is free and fair election in your opinion?
No, today, when I was speaking, I was mentioning that the idea of free and fair election itself has come into a question today. We don't know whether the government we've elected is actually a government we've elected, or whether it has been manipulated by somebody to be elected as an elected government of the people. So that is where we are today. But that's a beautiful quote. Yes, the government today, the union government, has been using, we've known that in the past they've used technology very well, and the social media platforms, in a very innovative way to get where they are. By false propaganda, spinning stories which are far from the truth. So when the next step of technology, when you're talking about deep fake or AI, it comes in much more handy to spread false stories, to create they create history. But today they can create the present to the way they want. But I think The challenge is in taking the truth to the people, to explaining, to telling, to educating them to find the difference between the truth and the false. I think that is our duty, to taking knowledge to people so that they can identify between the false news and the truth. I think every political party, every individual who wants to see the change has to take it upon themselves to reach out to people, to help them identify what is true and what is false.
Thank you. That's all the time that we have today. But thank you so much. I think this is an evening that Pinrai residents and all of us who are gathered here will remember for a very long time. And thank you in particular for your most erudite lecture and the question answer session. Now we have a Prime Minister who wouldn't even take questions from journalists, and then we have leaders like you who would take questions come what may. And thank you so much for giving us crystal clear answers. May I now invite Dr. Sarjan to announce, to declare the results of the best
Thank you,
questionnaire.
and it was an amazing experience being here and interacting with you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. You are a wonderful audience. Thank you very much, Ms. Kanuri and Ms. Madhavya Penny. It was a wonderfully engaging, brainstorming, very interactive and productive session for all the people here of Taliseri and different parts of the state of Kerala. On behalf of the organizers of Pinrai Peruma 2025, I place on record my heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Kanimuri and also Ms. Madhavya Penny. So before we part, there are two more things to come. One is we had a wonderful moderator, Ms. Madhavya Penny. May I, on behalf of the organizing committee, invite our Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. P. Shivasan, on stage to hand over Pinrai Peruma memento to Ms. Madhavya Penny.
Thank you, this is a surprise. Sorry. Thank you so much. Sorry, Ricky. ഇപ്പോൾ തുടങ്ങാനോ memento for the best question.
You see, now the most interesting part of this session is the best question of the day. We have the jury members. The jury members, may I place on record the gratitude of the organizing committee of Peruma Talks, Dr. Vinodan Nawat, Dr. Muhammad Ashifas CH and Mr. Surendra Babu, the convener of the jury committee, for sitting through the whole session and judging all the questions based on their merit. All the questions have been really, really relevant and meritorious. But the best question is judged to be that of the person has to come onto the stage to receive a small memento. The person who asked the best question of the day is Mr. Shuhaib PP, Government Brennan College. Mr. Shuhaib PP, are you here? Yeah, please come onto the stage to receive the memento from Ms. Kanimuri.
We'll keep in touch.
With that, we come to the end of this session. Once again, a big thanks in just one single word. We will be honoring Ms. Kanimari at a large function which is just waiting in the wings outside. That is an open forum, and I think the people are very anxiously waiting for Ms. Kanimari to be there on the stage. Of course, it won't be so tiresome, we can assure you that. You have spent a lot of your energy coming all the way down from Tamil Nadu. We heard a lot of good Tamil also in between. Thank you very much. We think of Murugan's idli and filter coffee. And also, Tamil will always be a big source of inspiration to all of us and to all the audience. Thank you very much. Thank you, organizers. Thank you, journalists, media persons, camera crew, and all the people who have made this. And a big thanks to the jury committee members, and also to Mr. Prashobit, who has been running around all these days. Thank you very much. The session is declared concluded and over. Thank you.